Greetings, ghosts and ghouls. Draco Magnius here for another October month of madness and horror poll video. So, if you are new to the channel, this time of year is when I play horror games. But before I do, I have you decide which one I play. I'm going to be showing some trailers in this video, following up with synopses of the games. And that's pretty much it. Pretty simple. There's going to be a poll in the description. I'm probably also going to pin a comment with the link to the poll just to be sure everyone has the link. And without further ado, let's get started. And the new kid on the block, OMoMaH Plague. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Anywho, I'm gonna read a bit off the Steam page to give you more of an idea of what the game is like. OMoMaH Plague is inspired by the game books of the 80s and 90s, mixing the alien and horrifying universe created by H.P. Lovecraft with an original plot and characters, all guided by your choices, similar to the visual novel and choose-your-own-adventure genres. Let me just scroll down a bit. There's still a bit I want to read, like the story synopsis, and this bit right here. Chill and focus on the story. There won't be any unlucky dice rolls to ruin your day. Death is a meaningful concept in the Lovecraftian universe, but can also get in the way of telling an interactive story. We don't want to let you down during your adventure, so we decided that dying has to be a narrative-driven event. Be careful though. Some of your choices could have significantly worse consequences than death itself. And the story. Live an incredible adventure around the world. Zanzibar, 1896. You play as Dr. Jake Huntington, and you enlisted in the army to forget the loss of your wife, Helen. Yet something ancient and sinister is about to overturn your life forever. All the hints seem to converge towards a single point, a terrifying disease that threatens to exterminate the entire human race. To uncover the truth, you'll have to dive into the shadows that inhabit the confines of the human intellect, unveiling the intrigues, the machinations, and the subterfuges that are tearing away from your understanding. Many challenges, friends, enemies, and mysteries await you, Doctor. Are you ready for this? But with all that said and done, let's move on to the next game in the poll.
My name is Alan Wake. I'm a writer. I came to Bright Falls with my wife, Alice. I told myself I could rest here, sleep here, and forget about my work. I thought we could be happy here.
Alan, please help me.
Alice?
Yes. All right.
When the wife of the best-selling writer Alan Wake disappears on their vacation, his search turns up pages from a thriller he doesn't even remember writing. A dark presence stalks the small town of Bright Falls, pushing Wake to the brink of sanity in his fight to unravel the mystery to save his love. Presented in the style of a TV series, Alan Wake features the trademark remedy, storytelling, and pulse-pounding action sequences. As players dive deeper and deeper into the mystery, they'll face overwhelming odds, plot twists, and cliffhangers. It's only by mastering the fight with light combat mechanic that they can stay one step ahead of the darkness that spreads across Bright Falls. With the body of an action game and the mind of a psychological thriller, Alan Wake's intense atmosphere, deep and multi-layered story, and exceptionally tense combat sequences provide players with an entertaining and original gaming experience. So yeah, that's Alan Wake. Alan Wake's a bit of an older game. I haven't played it, but I have watched someone do a Let's Play on it, which intrigued me into getting the game and maybe doing it this year. You guys will have to decide. It's a pretty good game, all things considered. I feel like it's a slight bit more action-y than it is horror, but the psychological horror tones are definitely there, and the story is written very well. Next up is Postmortem. Step into a thriller in which nothing is what it seems. After returning to the quiet streets of Paris to pursue a life of painting, Gus McPherson could not escape his true art. The former New York detective finds himself walking the beat once again, when hired by a sensuous woman to investigate the gruesome beheadings of her sister and brother-in-law. In the dark and mysterious streets of Paris, and plagued by his clairvoyant sixth sense, Gus will uncover a conspiracy written in blood, with rituals and artifacts as old as time itself. Apparently, Postmortem is a prequel to the Still Life adventure game. I have not played Still Life or Postmortem, so this will be completely blind. I should have mentioned that about Virtue's Last Reward, too. I haven't played that. That thought just occurred to me. But this section isn't about that. This game is going to be played completely blind. It says it's a prequel. I'm going to be playing it first because, I mean, after doing a little bit of research, it seems like this is the first game in the series, and that, I guess, was just mentioned later. But when I hear a prequel, I think, they went back to it after the first series, but they could have just, changed that after a while, updated the synopsis.
They all have their own reasons to be here. We will be having 5 dinners. Make sure everyone is worth dying for. It's going to be a wonderful week.
Rusty Lake Hotel is part of a series of games. I believe it's the first one in the series if we go by the dates that were posted on Steam. There's also Rusty Lake Roots and Rusty Lake Paradise, which take place in the same universe. And these people who made this game also made, I believe it's called Cube Paradox Escape or Intriguing Cube Escape, something like that. There may be references to that in there, but I have not played it. But let's go to the game proper that we're focusing on now. Rusty Lake Hotel is a unique puzzle escape game with surreal, strange setting inspired by David Lynch's TV series Twin Peaks. I really should watch that at some point. I mean, Deadly Premonition is based off Twin Peaks. This game's based off Twin Peaks. I should probably just watch Twin Peaks at some point, huh? Anyway, pick up and play, easy to start, but will be hard to stop. Tons of puzzles, a total of 6 rooms full of unique and various brain teasers. Thrilling, engaging story. There will be 5 dinners with intriguing guests and staff. Full of suspense and atmosphere, Rusty Lake Hotel is a surreal place where anything can happen. Every room has its own designed theme song. I'm just reading the key features because, like I said, there's not a lot on the store page. There are reviews, but we're not here for me to read reviews. This is just so I can, tell you a little bit about the game. But I'm actually, I've never played this, obviously. I'm genuinely excited to get into it because it looks interesting. I do love surrealism.
And those are our choices for this year. So, my plans are that the poll is going to close on October 1st, and that's when I'm going to start filming, and I'm going to try and upload the first episode on that day. Which is going to be putting it a little tight, but I am going to try to do that. Also, I'm thinking for the month of October, I'm going to be streaming a horror game as well. I'm going to be popping the trailer for that at the end of this video, as well as a little explanation of the game itself. And one last update, just general. Because I'm streaming a horror game for October, I'm going to focus on that game specifically. But once October is over, if I'm not done with that specific game, I'm going to put it in the rotation of the games I'm playing for my streams, which include Yakuza 7, Angels with Scaly Wings, the Pokemon Ultra Moon Metalock. But without further ado, I'm going to leave you with that trailer, and I'll see you in a little bit. The game I'll be streaming is Fear and Hunger. Like I said, I'll be reading a bit from their Steam store page. I'm gonna mention something really quick for this particular game, as a heads up. This is a mature game. It contains graphic violence, gore, use of drugs and alcohol, nudity, and scenes of a sexual nature. I mean, obviously people would expect violence and gore in horror games, but I wanted to give a heads up for that. And I'm going to read the blurb here in a little bit more. Fear and Hunger is a horror dungeon crawler, set in the dark and hopeless dungeons of fear and hunger. The game is a hybrid of a survival, horror, and dungeon crawler genres, with its influences ranging from Silent Hill to NetHack. There are roguelike elements to the game as well as a heavy foundation of JRPG. So, I mean, the sexual mention in there makes sense if it's, influenced by Silent Hill. I've never played Silent Hill, but I've seen videos of games of Silent Hill to know that there's a lot of grotesque sexual monsters in Silent Hill. But I'm going to read this last blurb and we'll end it there. The world of Fear and Hunger is very dark. The game is meant only for mature audiences. They put that in caps, that sentence. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Extreme violence and gore are everyday sights in the dungeon, and death is one of the easiest ways out to go in the game. The game has drug and substance abuse, heavy themes ranging from self-mutilation to sexual violence. None of the themes are taken lightly, however. They are all part of the world building, and there to create a unique atmosphere where the game measures just how far the player is willing to go in order to survive. I do not know if this is going to actually be allowed on YouTube. I have not played this game. It is completely blind, as most of the horror games I play through are. But, yeah, that does it for this one. We'll see how it goes. And I'll see you in October.